City streets passing by underneath stormy skies. Neon signs in the night, red and blue city lights, cargo trains rolling by. Once again, someone hides. Trains of winter rain, no going by, no going home. Trains across their plains, and in the sky, a star alone. Trains in winter rains, no going by, no going home. Trains across their plains, and in the sky, a star alone. Trains in winter rains, no going by, no going home. Trains across their plains, and in the sky, a star alone.
The Seawell coastal branch line is the last of many branch lines that existed in the county. The importance of the connection between Lyme Bay and London for both passengers and freight gave the volunteers the revenue to save the line. But other lines were not so lucky. The trunk line became a financial issue and was stripped in accordance with the Beeching report. Another line that disappeared during the war was the narrow gauge line from Silton Junction. Here, a double-decker bus called Derrick ran the old route by road as Barry did the trunk route. This route was 2 and connected the line to the north of the county at the mouth of the Bristol River that runs east into Bristol. Many met Derrick and heard about the line at the other end of the county and the knowledge he had come to acquire about the narrow line. But most interestingly, he told them about a tramway to a holiday town up the road. 2 trams run opposite runs for 5 miles, passing campsites and terminating at Pebble Bay, he told them. They were fascinated. All the time they had worked the line, they had never heard of the tramway. None of them had been on the line before the war to witness the narrow gauge engines. Stuart has also teamed up with Mortimer of Kendon, Richard of the Boxhead line and Peter of the Pebble Bay and Silton Tramway to foundation a project to rebuild the narrow gauge line after the first phase of the trunk route, he one day started saying. Everyone was so excited. Meanwhile, the trunk route was going well. A temporary track had been laid for the deliveries, while the double track was slowly progressing as unused as possible. The first section would be complete at the bridge, where the temporary track would then be dismantled and moved to start the second. The first phase was to end at South Hill, 7 miles from Silton, and would start with a modern DMU for Bristol and Doyle, who would be transferred to do the up and downs from South Hill to Silkminster and back. two engines working were Class 47s. They took it in turns with the crane and tripped to Bristol for the segments. This was a good arrangement that allowed the work to go smoothly, but halfway through one had to be let go because of money issues. Instead they took one on a long-term loan and had to call Kate down to move the crane. On her first day, she thought she'd introduce herself. Stuart was with her overseeing the project with the private company's director Sean. "Hello, I'm Kate," she started. "Oh, that's nice. My name's Glenn. Now enough chit-chat and move that crane." Kate couldn't believe how she had just been told what to do so rudely. Still, she went to move the crane, not realising that she had to wait for the brakes to go off. By the time she found the strength to push, the brakes slipped and the crane derailed. "You idiot!" shouted Glenn. "How can you be so careless? When a know-it-all impatient one like yourself gives a beginner a rash and careless order, he shouldn't even be given his peers," stepped in Sean. "A deadline is a priority, second to due care needed in the process, and thanks to you we really will fall behind." "What if we do? Why should I care?" "Because if you don't pull at your weight, you become unreliable, and that is no good to us or British Rail. That equals scrap," added Stuart. You wouldn't?" "Sorry, what can I do?" "You can help Kate pull the crane back and help her. If you don't learn to behave, this loan will reflect badly in your future," Stuart replied. So Glenn helped Kate and became more polite with a few more hiccups along the way. They soon reached the bridge, and Sean then assigned Glenn to the harbour for the gap period. Kate needed an overhaul and came back in BR green and a stronger shape. She is more confident now and keeps Glenn in place. In the duration of time, Glenn adapted to the line and now works freight runs. But with British Railways reducing their trains, those 6 diesels were needed now more than ever. In the meantime, the Seawell Coastal Railway was in a money crisis.
City streets passing by, underneath stormy skies, neon signs.